Hey y'all. I know it's like kind of jarring because it's like, girl, it looks hella different, don't it? Don't it? Let me see who's present so far. Ugh. Why it's not showing up? Okay, there we go. Here early and ready for enlightenment. Come on, Aaliyah Johnson. Come on, Aaliyah. First of all, drop a one if you can hear me so that I know. Last time I went live, child, the mic was not connected. And I just did not realize until after. So drop a one if you can hear me. Let me know, does it sound like the mic is connected? Does it sound like... Y'all like my hat? Okay, cool. I'm going to wait for some people to populate the place, but while I wait, the people who are present, hit that like button. Let me know that you are present and ready for the conversation. Because I have opinions. I have thoughts and I have opinions. Okay? I do. I have them. Let me take a sip, actually. All right. I know you have a life, but we need to hear from you more often, especially lock videos. I don't have no more lock conversations to give y'all. That's the thing. I've said all that I need to say about locks as far as how to care for it. It doesn't require much. You know what I'm saying? That's why my content varies. Like I talk about all kinds of things because there's but so much to do with your locks once you have them and once you're on riding with the journey. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to do like hella styling videos because over manipulation is a problem. And you know, my hair is mature. I'm not doing much with it to be making videos, just talking about it for the sake of it. That's one thing I've noticed though, like when I look at my numbers and stuff, is like on the one hand, locks and natural hair was a trend and now the trend is dying down. So there's that. But then also there's a component where people want to see hair videos from me, but I'm not overly styling my hair to be making a video about that. You know? Also, one thing I also realized is like, I'm over here rubbing myself on camera. My bad, y'all. But the only reason I started making videos every week is because the audience was like, yo, give us more. And then I realized the audience doesn't even watch my videos when I give y'all more. So why would I keep doing that? My numbers were like way higher when I would just do a video sporadically. Like every month, every few months, I do a video. It gets hella views. Versus when I'm doing it every week, trying to make a concept happen for the content. Yo, Onyx, you're dragging it right now. He's in a litter box, y'all. You're dragging it right now, Onyx. That's uncalled for. That's uncalled for. Then he gonna come out and act normal. Like, sir, y'all heard that? My man's was dragging it. Oh my gosh, y'all, I haven't even addressed. You see that my walls are different? I'm gonna put up some paintings or whatever from my little paint and sip moments and make it cute in here. But isn't it crazy? Like, I've never recorded in here with brown walls. I mean, with white walls. Y'all, I'm a little bit. Let me read the chat. Can we talk more on dark feminine energy? Ooh. Maybe. We'll see. You know, I've decided that I'm just going to record content or go live when I'm inspired to. So, you know, we'll see. Yo, I wanted to pop in here and say I started my lock journey last month. Hope you remember me. Planet J. I don't recall. Sorry. I don't recall. Give me more. But also, shouts to you starting your lock journey. Hallelujah. Let's celebrate yourself. Clap it up for yourself. I used to say that to my students in the classroom. Clap it up for yourselves, y'all. Kiss your brain. So smart. Natural. Yes. So this hat is actually from a sponsorship. I'm going to be making a reel on IG over the weekend. But today I didn't have time to really do my hair and it came in the mail. So I was like, let me just try it out, see how it fits. And it fits nice. Just a nice situation for my locks. And it's nice to be able to wear a cap without it like squeezing your friggin' hair in, you know? Like regular caps, regular dad hats can't vibe with locks the way that this does. So shouts to them. But don't purchase yet though. Wait until my reel comes out because I have a discount code for y'all, okay? Okay. So yeah, just follow me on Instagram. It's 𝒔𝒕𝒆𝒂𝒊𝒏. It's 𝒔𝒕𝒆�𝒊𝒏. That should also be my description box. Let me see. I believe it's in the description box. Yes, it is. All right, so more people have populated the place, so I suppose we can start the conversation, right? Because y'all saw the thumbnail and you see the title. You know what we're here to talk about today is my boy Ye bars. But no, seriously. Because I do not appreciate what is happening to my mans in the media. I don't appreciate the way that our community is turning its back on him. I don't appreciate it. I don't like it. I don't like what I'm seeing. So I wanted to hold space to, have a conversation and see what everyone's wavelength is with what we're witnessing happen in front of us. Just so much to get into. So good thing I had my dinner. So I'm full, I'm satisfied, I'm in a good mood, so we can really hang out in here and chat. Raise your hand if you know the people in the picture for the thumbnail. Yay, and who's those two white guys? Do y'all know? Hey. Hey. What up? Kanye's hella losing his mind for real. Uh-oh. What shows do you watch music to listen to? Also, my gym teacher used to tell us to kiss our brains too. Shouts. Not the gym teacher telling you that. What the hell? What you kissing your brains about in gym? In PE? In physical fitness? Okay. She had Kale's head. No. I'm not gonna answer the whole music thing right now because we talking about Ye. Actually, today I was listening to the Yeezus album all day. So as far as what I'm listening to lately, because that's the mood I'm in. And truth be told, I saw someone tweet this. Yo, I'm so high right now. I saw someone tweet this yesterday. They were like how Ye told us everything that he's saying now. He's let us know what type of time he's been on this whole time in his music. And he said it in the Yeezus album. Like, if you listen to him, he speaks like this. He's spoken like this already all the time. And so it's fascinating for us to be like in this space where everyone's like so shocked and so offended, like, gasp, clutching my pearls, as if we're not talking about Kanye West. Like, as if we're not talking about someone who has always been very vocal about the things that happen within our community, the way that our community is exploited for profit. Like, he constantly talks about this all of the time. And people always call him crazy. People always throw his bipolar disorder in his face when it's time to have these conversations. It's like, but no, let's have the conversation. It's so interesting. Did y'all see the Drink Champs interview that got removed? I saw it. I'm like, I don't want to like ramble. I want to go in a cohesive order of events, but there's like so many things that's coming to my mind because I'm really like flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted by this. Like, do y'all know that it's possible to like hear a point of view that's different from yours and you can actually like sit and have a conversation about it and come to mutual ground, find understanding, as opposed to immediately canceling a person. You know that it's possible to do that, right? And yet, why is it that we don't? Why is it that we're in this society now where it's become so normal to just cancel people because they say things that are different from you? Someone commented canceling is as old as the Bible, and it's true. Like, we've actually always been like this. It's just, it looks different now because of technology, but we've always moved like this. And I'm here to say, why is that? Like, why can't people just think how they think and have their opinions the way that they have them without it meaning that it's time for an uproar? It's time to bring out the pitchforks because how dare they think differently than the rest of us right now? And the truth is, when you actually listen, you realize that maybe they don't think differently from me. Maybe we have the exact same point of view. Maybe some of these things about the point of view is a little different, but that's okay too, because we're not clones. We're not minions. We're not yes men. So we don't have to think the same and say the same things in order to be civil with each other. I see people calling this man anti-black. They call him Nazi, KK, all of that. I'm like, what? Because he's telling y'all that the people who have power are the ones who like, he's telling us that these group of people have always had the power over what we do in the entertainment industry. And people are like offended. They're like, oh, hell no, that's anti. But it's like, but it's the case though. Like, New Slaves, exactly. I was listening to New Slaves just a while ago, and I really think that people need to revisit that album. I really think people need to revisit it and listen really closely. Listen very closely to what that man has been saying this entire time. It's like also funny, like it made me think just now how people were like, when he was doing his little Sunday services thing, and everyone was like, all of a sudden this nigga a Christian, he a Christian now. And it's like, but has he not always been talking about Jesus? Y'all forgot about Jesus walks? It's like the writing has been on the wall this entire time. People show you who they are. They just do. So he has always shown us who he is, and yet there's this confusion, and I don't understand that. It's weird. I saw someone else tweet, and I think, did I share this on the community tab? It was a tweet that was saying, ask your grandparents how they reacted to Malcolm X when it was happening. And a lot of people were, not these people fucking blowing the horn dumb hard right now. Like, are y'all serious? Are y'all serious? Sorry, y'all. I'm in New York. But yeah, I saw a lot of people in the quote replies, and they were like, oh, I know you're not trying to compare this man to Malcolm X. I know you're not trying to make that comparison. And and it made me laugh because I'm like, have y'all listened to Malcolm X? Like, I've come to realize that people have opinions about things before they research about it. People react, they don't respond, they don't take the time to actually investigate. I feel like the things that you hear from the Kanye Wests of the world and the people like that in the world should be an invitation for you to dig deeper. An invitation for you to do your own research and prove it wrong, since it sounds so wrong to you, you know? An invitation to have a conversation. And that's like his favorite thing to say in interviews. Like, I'm just trying to have a conversation. Like, just have a conversation and get to some understanding and some progress. Because how long are we going to sit in the same circumstances that we've been in? How long? You know? Like, the clip of Malcolm X responding to that question that he used to get back in the day, are you anti-Semitic, has been circulating around lately. And it really just makes you remember, or not the fucking police cars, child. I'm about to close the window. It's dumb loud. But it makes you remember, like, if you look at history, if you look at the timeline of all these, like, black leaders of our communities, right? How they were received at the time when they were actually at the height of their ish, you know? Because a lot of us like to think that we're the descendants of people who were always about that action, but truth be told, that is not the case. Some people are descendants of folks who were not with the action. People mad. People see what's happening to Ye and they're okay with it because they're mad that one time he said something about slavery being a choice, right? That's the thing that people don't like. And that he was a Trump supporter and everything. Okay, let's unpack that. Did you actually watch the interview what he was talking about? Because what he said was, for people to be enslaved for 400 years, after a while, that starts to sound like a choice. And when he was talking about is mental slavery, like Stockholm syndrome, when you start to just identify with your oppressor. You know, when Bob Marley used to say, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. When he said it was cool, but when Ye say it, it's he need to take his meds. Hold up. I had to close the window, y'all. I had to do it. You see what I'm saying? Take a sip. I know I've said a mouthful. I've said a lot. Because at this point, I'm just venting. Because I'm really bothered. It really bothers me to see this. Like, I'm so flabbergasted. Like, are y'all dead serious? Like, y'all think this is okay? Y'all don't know what it looks like when someone is being sunned in front of us, when someone is being used as an example. We don't know what that looks like anymore. How long have we been in this predicament where every time someone speaks up on our behalf and they look like us, an example is made out of them? How many times did we see that happen? And we're just okay with it now? Is that what the time is? Is that what time we're on? Like, it's so interesting. It's so interesting to me because you always hear people say stuff about if they were alive at this time, if they were here for the Jim Crow, if they were here for the segregation or slavery period of time, or if they were there, they would have done this. But you realize, no, a lot of y'all wouldn't have. A lot of y'all probably would have just complied willingly, or not necessarily willingly, but just had this fear, this deep fear that you had to comply because, truth be told, it was either compliance or die at them times. Truth be told, they've always made examples of us. Go listen to Blood on the Leaves again. They've always used to take our strongest, our fittest, or whatever, and lynch them in front of us. That's just a part of the history, right? And it's an ugly, dark, sinister history. So we try to not think about it. We try to act like it's so far away and no longer affects anything that happens now. But clearly it does because y'all were so mad about what he said, right? So clearly we're still affected. Think about what they did to, like, the Malcolm X's, the MLKs, the Fred Hamptons of our time. So just continuously lynching our people in front of us so that we don't speak up too much. And it's created this fear. So now our community is so split where people are either afraid of the consequences of speaking your mind or people are afraid of the consequences if you don't. Are you going to keep letting things happen to you? Or are you going to buck up? You're going to be brave. Remember when they used to do the buck breaking? They're like, oh no, we got to remind you who you are. We got to break you down so that you never buck up again. It's possible to hear opposing points of view and find truth in it. It's also possible to hear it and say, I strongly disagree with that. and that be okay. Like that's possible and that's allowed. So why don't we allow ourselves that kind of grace within our community? We have all that allowance when other people do it, but when our people do it, we don't have that much grace. And when you think about it, a lot of the people that we put on a pedestal now and call them legends now, how were they received then? Like how we're receiving Ye now. Same shit. Same energy. Think about the princes of our time. Prince, Michael Jackson, Muhammad Ali. I'm trying to think like off the top of my head, but like just think of anyone in the entertainment industry or a public figure who looked like us that spoke up on things. Sister Shahrazad Ali. Like think of how they were treated then. But then you look now and you see people quoting them, making statuses, captions under their Instagram pictures, using these same concepts, these same talking points. But at the time when it was relevant, when it was prevalent, when it was an actual conversation, no one was trying to talk about it. No one was trying to hear it. Everyone was like, no, it's too radical. It's too much. It's too much. Just be quiet so they leave us alone. Don't say too much. They did it to Nick Cannon, and I don't even like that man like that. I don't agree with the decisions he's made. And yet when he speaks and there's truth, I'm going to acknowledge it as that. And I remember how they did him too. And y'all remember how he had to crawl back and start apologizing to get Wildin' Out back and everything like that? And everyone was like, well, I guess what he said was right then because you've proven his point. Yeah, okay, now it's happening again with someone who we love to use as a scapegoat. But really think, what's going to happen a few years from now when we replay this part of history? And, you know, Ye is on t-shirts and sweaters, and his music lyrics are used as, in quotes, as references, as foreshadowing, if you will. And those kids are like, yo, Ye was speaking the truth. And we are now the ancestors that are being reflected upon for them to say, well, when Ye was saying that shit, a lot of my parents and grandparents weren't with it. They told him to shut down, to sit down, be quiet. They told him he's anti-black because he said that these people are exploiting us. But I know it's not as simple as that. I know that people are calling him anti this and anti that because of a culmination of opinions, right? It was the slavery thing. It was the MAGA hat thing. It was the Trump supporter thing. What else? It's the him going with the Kim Kardashian thing. You know, all those things together, they was like, nah, we can't fuck with this nigga. We don't like him. So when he speaks, people just don't listen. They don't want to hear it. But I remember when he went to go meet with Trump and everyone was in a tizzy, right? Everyone's like, oh my God, this nigga gonna go sit and talk to Trump. And I watched a little clip from the interview and I will never forget. He was in there talking about how Black children, Black neighborhoods, Black students need mental health professionals as part of the school experience. He was talking about how they need to start integrating Montessori curriculums into the hood because you see it across the bridge. You see it in the other communities. And I'm a nanny, so I see it too. There's this space and there's the resources for children to learn and develop holistically. And in the hood, that does not exist. So he was in there talking to Trump about how he wants to see that happen. But people were so distracted by the fact that they hate Trump, that they couldn't comprehend the validity of that conversation. Talking about, oh, the nigga bipolar, he needs his meds. But do you agree or disagree that children in the hood need mental health services in their schools? Do you agree or disagree? I don't care who said it. You know, that's my attitude and my opinion of these things. I've already learned not to let celebrities be my guidance for how to carry myself. I've already learned not to look to them to be my messiahs. You know what I'm saying? But when I do see a melanated person in the public eye who is as big as this person is, risking it all to still continuously advocate for us, I cannot ignore that because I don't like other things that he said before, other things that he's done. I strongly disagreed with him marrying and impregnating Kim K. I strongly disagreed with that. Strong, immediately no. When I saw it, I was like, no, please don't do this. Yay, yay, don't do this. Yay. That was my reaction when I saw that him and Kim K were together. But what does that mean? Because I don't like that he did that, I'm going to ignore the fact that sometimes when he speaks, it's facts. I'm just going to be like, F your facts because I don't like you. I know recently one of the things that he said that pissed people off was about George Floyd having the fentanyl in his system and that being the reason he passed away. Strongly disagree. Strongly disagree. And yet, I'm still capable of hearing the rest of his words and finding truth in them. Why don't we do that? Why is that so hard for people? Why is discernment so difficult? Why is filtering information so hard for people to do, especially amongst ourselves? Why aren't we as forgiving with each other as we are with other people? Especially the people who perpetuate the exact circumstances that create disturbances among us in the first place. We hella forgiving, hella forgiving, hella forgiving. Oh, they didn't like the White Lives Matter shirt too. I forgot. But it's like, were y'all fucking with Black Lives Matter? Y'all didn't see that was fugazi as well? Oh, he's anti-black because he's talking about white lives matter. So are the BLM leaders anti-black too because they were using our money to fund their lifestyle? Like, everybody love to hate yay. Everybody love to hate yay, but nobody want to listen long enough to hear something that they need to hear. And let me not sit here and act like he's just impeccably clean and does no wrong, you know? That's not the case. I think that accountability is missing in a lot of his conversations sometimes, even though sometimes he is and other times he's not. I feel like I would love to see the day when I hear Ye say some shit like, I should have never married a Kardashian. That's the accountability I'm looking for. Okay? Bad call. Bad call. And you see the betrayal in how they move and how they interact around his brand, around his name, how they treat him. Right? You see how Kim, Chloe, all of them putting their tweets, we stand with our Jewish friends. We stand with them. We don't tolerate the disrespect. But it's like, oh, because there's no loyalty among y'all. And so we're just watching this man be kind of like alienated. There's no groups that's fucking with him. And, you know, you hate to see it. I know I hate to see it. I hate to see it. I hate to see it. One thing I will say for sure, though, is if he goes and from this experience goes to create his own shit, I'm going to support it. I know that much. I will. They took his wax figurine down from the Madeleine Toussaint Museum, you know what I'm saying? Taking all the brand deals away. Now they threatening to keep his kids away from him. Like, we're watching modernized buck breaking. We're watching it. That's what that looks like. No, the oppressor isn't taking down his pants and physically sodomizing, but we're watching it happen in another way, digitally. And it's so weird to see people in our own community cheering it on. Like, that's whoa. Where are we? Where are we at? Someone said on Twitter the other day that there's no code amongst Black people at all. And I'm like, there really isn't. There is none. No code. And this is something that Ye said in his interview, and he's also mentioned before. Because y'all remember when he was going hard about the Larry Hoover thing to get him out of jail, and everyone was like, you ain't a lawyer. This nigga think he know law now. But part of his whole thing was there's no code in our community because all the leaders are either locked up or dead. So you just have a group of followers just following, looking for guidance from somebody. There used to be a code. That's why now you see a lot of the gang activity. It's always been ridiculous, but now it's like, oh, they don't have any code. There's no code, no respect. It used to be women and children off limits. Now they don't give a fuck. No fucks to give. These young men, none. No code anywhere in the behavior, in the movements. And if it's not because the gang leaders and everything have been removed from the equation, so their guidance, their code system has been removed from the culture as well. But also, if you look on the other side, the men who weren't gangbangers, they're just Black and happen to be a father, is like within the court system, women and just society are incentivized to separate them from their children, separate them from the household, condition us to believe that we don't need them at all. So our leaders, where are they? Where are the leaders at? And people always ask that question. They want the leaders, but when you see someone who is prepared to give some kind of motivational speech, you know what I'm saying? And leader doesn't mean that you have to blindly follow somebody. It just means that you see someone who is capable of commanding a room and influencing action. Where are the leaders at? Oh, but when we have them, look at how we treat them. You know how they say that if Jesus were to come back, no one would know? Because how do y'all think y'all would treat the real Jesus Christ? And keep in mind, we already know that these are parables and fairy tales when it comes to the scripture. We already know that it's describing astrology personified with human characteristics. We know that part, but let's just play with it a little bit. Let's say an actual Jesus Christ figure were to emerge right now. Would you even recognize him? Would you know what to do with him? Or would you be just like how they were? And who was it again? Who was around for Jesus Christ and stoning him and crucifying him? Who was it again doing that? Who did that? Who was it? Oh, okay, cool. Cool, that's cool. No problem, right? People love to think that they're so righteous, that they know all the answers, that their way of thinking is the way of thinking. What a lot of people can't recognize a real gem when it's right in front of them. They don't realize until after the fact. Hindsight is when they realize. And, you know, I wish it didn't take that long. I wish it didn't take that long. I wish it didn't take that long for people to recognize when an actual, an actual gem is in front of us. Man, yo, crazy. I just realized I haven't looked at the chat this entire time. I've just been chatting, so let me see what y'all talking about, okay? Let me read. If this thing would scroll down. Okay, now it's scrolling. If he makes his own stuff and you wear it, bet they're gonna try to compare wearing it to the Confederate flag. They're going to. You know what I realized? Like today I was driving to work, and you know I work in a melanin deficient neighborhood, right? And I had Yeezus bumping. I am a god. Y'all know I call myself SammyDaGawd. Where do you think that came from? Yay. That's where that came from. I am a god, even though I'm a man of God. My whole life's in the hand of God. So y'all better quit playing with God. Okay? Understand that. Understand it. Overstand it. Recognize the God within you. People talking about, oh, he got a God complex. He think he go. Do you know yourself? Do you? Ooh. A lot of niggas don't know themselves. That's the problem. That's the problem. Do you know yourself? I need you to know yourself. We are gods. Come on, Queen Rising. Come on. We are gods. We are of God. We carry God within us. Just by virtue of being alive, carrying life within us. We are made in his image and likeness, are we not? You think a lion cub is made in the image and likeness of a lion and is no longer a lion? Like, we are gods because we are made in the image and likeness, right? That's the scripture that we're supposed to uphold, right? Isn't it? Isn't it? If we were made in his image, then call us by our names. Okay. I'm just saying. But when we do it, it's a problem. I remember that interview where he was like, would you like it better if I said I was a nigga? He's like, when I say I'm a nigga, nobody has a problem with it. But if I say I'm a god, it's a problem. It's crucify me. And it's like, what? I seen people talking about, oh, no one canceled him when he said slavery was a choice. And my whole thing is, I don't even care about that. Because at the end of the day, he was talking about mental slavery, which, if you really think about it, okay, if you really think about it, look at us and connect the dots on cause and effect. You know what I'm saying? If you really think about it. Maybe the words weren't what you wanted to hear, but if you really think about it, because, and I see people saying stuff like, well, if you said slavery was a choice, then them contracts was a choice too, right? And it's like, ew, what's wrong with you? What's your problem? You know what else is a choice? Staying in that dusty ass relationship that, you know what, let me not start throwing shots. There's a lot of choices that we make on a daily basis that go against who we are, what we want for ourselves. But we make those choices for survival, do we not? Oh, okay. If you think about it, a lot of our ancestors were making certain choices for survival because none of us, you know, we didn't have experience with the white devil like that. We didn't have experience with it like that. We didn't know what we were up against until they started doing some heinous stuff. Until they started doing some terrible things to us. That's when we realized what we were up against. And so you had to be stealthy. You had to find ways to adapt to the circumstances, learn your enemy and all that type of stuff. So choices were made. Some people chose to be quiet and complicit, to kind of be invisible so that they wouldn't be violated. And then other people tried to escape. Other people lost their will to escape because everybody was being killed around them, in front of them, if they tried. So yeah, sometimes choices are made under such dire circumstances. You got to choose to survive. You got to choose the path of least resistance sometimes. And it's not wrong for someone to point out that we have been making choices that keep us in the victimized space for long enough. It's not wrong for someone to acknowledge that. That's my thoughts on it. You know what I'm saying? This is a conversation we had in my African Shrian studies course. Oh, it's like scrolling down. We see it all the time when you want to take over a country, you take out the heads of power. Exactly. Art of war. Psychological warfare. Black Ops. How you think the Black Panther Party got infiltrated? How you think that happened? How did you think that happened? An accident? Come on now. This is why people need to know history. They always say history repeats itself. This is why people need to know their history. No, you don't have to know all the details and be able to spit it back verbatim, all the quotes, but we need to have a basic gist of the things that have happened so that we can see when it's happening again and shut it down. It's kind of like if you with someone and they've lied to you or they betrayed you in some way, and let's say you choose to stay with them, you're like, you know what? Let's work past this, right? Or matter of fact, let's say y'all break up and it's hard and you had to heal from it, right? Now you heal. But when you go into the dating experience again, now you know what it feels like to be lied to. So when it happens again, you know. It's kind of like with the whole pandemic, everything, all the what they were saying about it on the news and how they were talking to us about it. It felt like I was being lied to by my ex, bro. It felt like my ex was lying to me to my face, bro. I was like, this not adding up. This feels like a lie. So, certain things that are being said feel fictitious. Feels like a story. And so, you know, I made the choices that I made, had to adapt, had to pivot. And now CDC can hit us up and say some shit like, oh yeah, you know, if you vax, unvax, it don't really matter at this point. Everybody got the immunity at this point. Or in New York, they can say stuff like, oh, this group of people are going to get reinstated to their jobs and reimbursed back pay for that entire period of time where we told them they couldn't work unless they did this thing. It's like, so what's the truth then? Because I remember when it was happening, y'all was telling us that we need to get ready for a winter of death. I remember that. And now it's, oh, we're going to give you your jobs back and give you all that money too, because we were kind of exaggerating. It really wasn't as dire as we were making it out to be. You know, it's like, you got to know your history. You got to know what it feels like. You got to dig into the uncomfortable parts of it and really acknowledge it to be true so that you can know it, so you can understand it and you can recognize it when it's happening again. There's people who to this day, the term buck breaking, they just learned that term today. Because it's a part of our history that you don't want to acknowledge because it's so dirty. It's so trifling, so you don't want to give it life, but you got to remember what has been done. You know what I'm saying? You have to remember what has been done so you can see when it's being done again, bro. You just have to. Okay? Let me see what y'all saying. Yeah. What up? Dreas is here. A moderator in the building. I'm trying to like scroll, but it keeps like jumping. Exodus 20, work together, rest together, no idolizing. No idolizing is big facts. What did he say? Because I'm talking about right now, because he said it in the interview. He was like, we're all on the same level under God. Or something like that. He was basically saying like, we're all on this level. Oh, it's a super chat. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Ooh, talking about that uncomfortable truth. Come to the Discord and get these hands. So here's the thing. I'm a part of MTR's Discord. A lot of y'all know that already, but for those who don't, that's the case. And so King is a member of the Discord, and that's what he's talking about. I appreciate your sponsorship, King. I appreciate that. And I encourage you all to follow suit. I appreciate the generosity. It's a beautiful thing. Put the black dollar back into the black hands. Okay? Pan-Africanism. Okay? Come on. We love to see it. Thank y'all for the compliments. I will absolutely be sharing the discount code and all that information when I make that reel that I'm supposed to make. This is just me trying it out, but I'm going to make an official reel about it. For the people who are just coming in, follow me on Instagram. My link is in the description box. It's 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏. And I will be making a reel because this is a sponsored product alongside other things. And so I'm going to share that information with y'all. What's the Discord called? So it's part of MTR's Patreon. I mean, I guess Dre is hip hop moderator. You can share that information for the people. Not me redirecting people from my stream to his Discord like I don't have my own. Join my Discord, okay? How do you get access to it? Oh, you have to be a channel member. So join the channel, get a gem next to your name, and get access to my Discord. But if you want to be in the Discord with Dreas and them, with King and them, that's MTR's Patreon. So, my God, I'm getting kind of hot. I'm getting kind of hot. If you guys said anything that was like very noteworthy, I missed it. Let me see. Yeezy isn't making it easy for African Americans to be on his side because of his comments about George Floyd. So, okay. Ye still be saying anti-black-ish. Can't let that slide. Okay, so Aaron Carter, because not Aaron Carter. Let me think of Nick Carter. Anyways, Aaron Carter, if you were still present, please help me because I'm not going to hold you. I haven't seen everything. I haven't heard everything. So maybe I need to be informed about certain things. What have I missed? Tell me what is the anti-black that you're talking about? Because I've seen this around his name a lot where we're like, oh, he anti-black. And when I hear it and I see the conversation, they're talking about the slavery was a choice thing. So is that the anti-black that you're talking about when you say it makes it hard for you to support him? Well, you said the George Floyd thing. Okay. Well, according to him, this is information he saw in a documentary. So maybe who made the documentary? I think it was Candace Owens. I don't even know, child. I haven't watched it, but we know that is incorrect. We know how that man died. We've seen it, and we can also pull up the report on it. Okay? But guess what? You know what my response to that would be? Nobody ever is 100% accurate in all that they say. Now, as far as the accountability is concerned, I do believe that when you are a public figure to that degree as well, you need to know what you're talking about before you say it because people are listening to you. So it's very hard for people to make mistakes in the media and public when they are of that caliber because people like us look at it and we're like, you're not allowed to say the wrong thing because you're a celebrity. But are people not allowed to be uninformed about some things or mistaken rather about some things but still valid about others? Are we a monolith? Like, are we only allowed to be one way? No one is allowed to be incorrect at any point ever if they're in the public eye? Because this goes back to what I was saying earlier, is that we're so forgiving when other people are doing shit to us. But when it's one of our own, if they make any misstep, if they say anything we don't like, it's, you're anti-black, we don't like you, F you. All the bad things that are happening, we want it to keep happening. And it's like, no. Listen, I know that sometimes you will hear something and it's like jarring because you're like, that's just so incorrect. It's just not true. It's incorrect. And yet that same person can still say something else to you later on in that conversation that makes you think about life a little differently. And now you just learned something. Like, cancel culture, I said it on my community tab, like, it's very trash because it eliminates the opportunity for people to learn, to progress, to find mutual ground. It eliminates that because we're all so strict about either side of the spectrum. Like, you gotta be this or you gotta be that. You gotta be Republican, you gotta be a Democrat. As though they not both fucking with us equally. Like, it's like, come on, just stop. Just stop it. Just please. But Aaron Carter, yes, come back if you were present. Give me the examples. What's the what is it that makes you feel that he's anti-black? I want to know. And if he doesn't say it, someone else say it. Like, put me on. Because maybe I'm blind. Maybe I'm just oblivious. Maybe I have a blind spot because I am a fan. I have been listening to his music since day one. I have paid attention to his timeline of development. So I fully understand the thought process behind a lot of what is said. But that doesn't mean that I agree with everything that is said. It's kind of like, this is how people act with everything though. Like, I remember with Dave Chappelle, everyone was trying to cancel him because he was making jokes about gay people, making jokes about trans people, da 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 da. Well, what was one of the jokes that people were trying to cancel him for was when he was saying that white men found a loophole by becoming trans women. And they was like, oh no, cancel him. But think about it. The same oppressors, when they shape shift in front of us, and this is no shade to that community because not everyone is this way. But please understand that just because certain people have transitioned doesn't excuse them from exercising their privilege in other ways. You know? I remember people were trying to cancel Kendrick because he had that one song where he was talking about, give me something natural, like ass with some stretch marks. Like, he was talking about wanting to see natural beauty more, and all the girlies with the weave were like, oh, hell no, cancel him. Cancel him. You don't see how fickle people are? You hear something you don't like and now it's canceled. You can't sit long enough in the discomfort to get to the other side of the conversation. Like, why is he saying this? I want to know more. I'm intrigued, as opposed to I'm too offended to think. He needs to be canceled till further notice. Well, I disagree. I disagree with you. And yet, we vibe. Yet we in here vibing. Whoa, how did she do that? How did she hear someone that she disagreed with and still manage to? Okay, Dreas, you can't share the Discord in here, my G, because it's for members only. Dreas, you can't share the link openly like that because, like, they had to be members in order to get invited. Okay? So I'm going to delete. I can't even delete. Why it won't let me delete? Oh, I'm on the wrong thingamajig. Okay, hold on. Let me switch accounts. I'm on my ASMR account. Whoops. There we go. Now we're back in order. Now I look like a tour guide. I do, right? It's very campy right now with the fit. But I needed to be cozy. I did. But what was that? I was looking at something and I lost it. What are y'all in here talking about? What are y'all talking about? Okay. Well, I guess. But yeah. Those were my little 2 cents. I'm gonna ask y'all. I know I asked Aaron Carter to respond. He disappeared. So I'm gonna ask y'all. Do y'all think that Ye is anti-black? Also, you can answer all these questions as they come. Do you think he's anti-black? And do you think his comments about Jewish people owning a lot of things, if that's anti-Semitic? Do y'all think that? I'm curious. And while y'all figure that out, I'm gonna like try to look at the comments. She's naive. Frying some fish and watching the live. Come on, frying some fish. Come on, making food and watching the live. That's funny. That's funny. Why won't it? Oh dang, I can't scroll up past this point. Damn. If you left a really dope message earlier, send it again, because I missed a lot of stuff because I was just rambling. I was just venting. I'm so disappointed in that spineless hip hop community. Ooh, man. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. It's like, oh, wow. 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 It's like, what do you, I don't even know what to say sometimes when I see the things happen. I saw a video. It was like another interview that he did after the Drink Champs thing and everything, and the DEFCON 3 tweet, right? Hold on. Which was interesting because I actually just learned that DEFCON 3 means that it's a military term that means that you're upping your defenses. So when he was saying he's about to go DEFCON 3 on the Jewish community until they pretty much take accountability for the ways they exploit us, and everyone's like, anti. But it's like he's saying that he's about to start building his defenses. My man said he's about to start defending himself unabashedly in the face of confrontation. That's what that sounds like to me. But yes, in the clip of the follow-up interview or whatever, someone was like, oh yeah, anti-Semitic or whatever, and like the news agent was like, yeah, anti. And then they played the clip, and in the clip he's explaining how basically, you know, a lot of the Jewish record labels and execs only sign and promote artists who glorify violence and, you know, nigga shit. And they're not here for the conscious rap and the high vibrational rap. They're only here for the shoot 'em up bang bang rap. That's who gets rewarded. And he was talking about how they exploit our communities and exploit our outrage and stuff like that. And then it comes back to the news shorty, and she's like, he's just doubling down on the anti-Semitism. And I'm like, I had to laugh. Because I'm like, what do you mean he's doubling down on the anti? He's literally telling you what's happening. He's telling you what's happening. Like, we're watching it happen. When we look at the music of our time, the music that makes charts and gets the highest streams and everything like that, gets the highest marketing and backing, it's the type of stuff that's destructive to our community. Real shit, to be honest. It is destructive. It just is what it is. But, you know, the beat slaps, so we vibe with it and we kind of ignore it. But it's true. If Ye is anti-black, then every person in the music industry anti-black too. Because listen to what they talk about. Just listen to what they talk about, what they condone, what they encourage, rather. You know, city girls culture. And this is not to say that the music isn't fun. The music is fun. But when you're an adult, it's fun. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I can bop to this. Oh, I can do my little twerk workout to this. But when you're a child, it's impressionable. It influences your decisions. Like I saw this video today where this it seems like single mom, because the way she was talking, it seemed as though it's just her and her son or whatever. But she's crying and saying how her son used her rent money to splurge on his girlfriend. And it's not funny. I shouldn't laugh. But it is funny, because where did he get that idea from? that he needs to be tricking on his girlfriend, splurging on her in order to have access to her, right? We're like, think about the music that we listen to, think about the culture that we promote amongst each other. Is this idea that we don't need each other, we don't need no man, we don't need a woman. All we need each other for are the things we can get. So get as much as you can get and dip. That's the culture these days. That's the thing that we promote and gets recognition and is up there in the charts. That's the type of messaging. And so when you see the children moving in alignment with that, it's like, okay, so we're literally shaping the future generations to have this warped sense of reality. That's harmful. That's anti-black too. But are we going to call it that? Or are we just going to say it's just a song, it's not that serious? Oh, okay, cool. That's cool. Okay, cool. Cool. You right. You right. Wait, hold up. What happened? Break down the stickers and Discord for us in the back row. What you talking about? I'm trying to catch whatever the comment. I missed it. I missed the comment. Oh wait. So wait, how to join Discord? I've been following you on here for a while, but didn't know what you meant by sticker. I didn't say sticker. I said sticker. I said get a gem next to your name. So you had to join my membership. You have to join my channel. So subscribing and joining is two different things. So when you join, there's also a link in my description box. Let me just find it real quick for you to do that. When you join is when you become a channel member, and as a channel member, you will have that gem next to your name, as you see with Dreas Exhibit A. But once you join, you have to go to the community tab, because the members only community tab looks different than the regular community tab. And in the community tab, I've given instructions for how to join the Discord. I had to kind of make it like an extra step in order to filter people out, because I had someone enter the Discord that was like cringe. That was like ODing and making me uncomfortable. So I was like, I can't make this easy for people to access. If people really want to be in here, they're going to have to read to get here. You know? But yes, join my channel and then go to the community tab. But I might just go to the community tab right now and put the Discord link for people who want to join tonight. There's definitely a more seamless way to do this, but I made the Discord and everything early days. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to think. That's hold on a second, y'all. I'm clicking on all these stuff. Talk amongst yourselves while I do this, okay? Just give me a second. No, why not? So, okay, I see like why it's like causing problems. The link isn't working. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. Let's fix that. What the hell? This is so weird. Why is YouTube set up like this, child? Like, she said free time while I yeah, this is free time. Mingle amongst yourselves while I try to fix this situation, because something's wrong with it. That's crazy. There we go. I found it. That's the link to join. Okay. And then what? What the hell? I wish I had some. Yo, this shit is bugging. I wish I had some elevator music to play for y'all in the meantime, in between time, as I did this, but I don't. So you're just gonna have to listen to the silence as I sort out my life. Why is technology betraying me tonight? Why? What y'all in here talking about? Does it cost to join? Yes, it's $5 a month, right? Yeah. It's like a subscription. It's like you're subscribing to me like I'm Netflix. What did Ye say? He want to be the next Walt Disney? Google? I'm Netflix. Okay, you subscribe to my channel, to my content, and you are rewarded with a badge of honor. A gem, if you will, next to your name. And you also get access to me via my Discord server. Okay? I'm about to put the Discord link in the community tab. So whoever is joining right now can just get that. Okay? Because the way I had it set up before is that you had to DM me on Instagram and prove that you in the like I was really I had to get a little paranoid because I really had like someone who had the potential to be a stalker in the server with me, and I was like, oh nah, this can't go on. I can't allow it. Can't have this. Can't have it. Okay, boom. If you're a channel member and you're trying to figure out how to get into my Discord, check the community tab. I put the link for you. Okay? And that's for that. Back to the stream. Resume. I'm resuming. What? City Girl anthem. As the background music while y'all wait for me to situate? Hell no. What's wrong with you? Do I give you City Girl anthem type of vibes as background music? The disrespect. Rude. Rude. What y'all think of the White Lives Matter shirts? What y'all think about that? Y'all, how'd y'all feel? I'm about to take my hair down. How did y'all feel when you saw Ye make the White Lives Matter shirt? Not gonna hold you. For me personally, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, he's trolling. That my first reaction was he's trolling the Black Lives Matter thing. First reaction was he's trolling us. I don't know if that's the truth or not, but that's how I felt when I saw it. I didn't feel emotionally invested one way or another because from jump, I felt like BLM was weird. It was sus. It was sus. It reminds me of when, y'all remember, I don't know if y'all know, but there's like this older white man who was in the news complaining, saying how the black teenagers in the neighborhood were vandalizing his property, putting the graffiti on his stuff, right? And then they show a picture of him standing on his driveway, and on the pavement it says, "Blacks rule!" exclamation point. And he was trying to convince us as the blacks that the children painted that on him. It's like, nigga, you wrote that. We don't talk like that. We don't say blacks rule. What are you talking about? We don't talk like that. But that's how I felt seeing the BLM stuff and like the t-shirts and the fitteds or whatever, the socks, the boxers, whatever had that logo on it. It felt like, weird. It was like, are we actually outraged about the police killing us, or are we just trying to make a hashtag? Like, which one is it? Which one is it? It don't make sense to me. Like, the minute it starts becoming like merchandise is when I stop taking it seriously. Because it's like, why y'all trying to monetize this movement if the intention is to achieve justice and to create reform in our policing? Is that the intention or not? But y'all making t-shirts. So when I saw the White Lives Matter shirt, I knew for a fact, but I don't know if it's a fact or not, but I just knew he was trying to troll as far as that's concerned. But then some other people were connecting this idea that, so did you see recently that there was an article talking about how the COVID death cases are much higher amongst the melanin deficient than the melanated? And they're like, how the tables have turned, because before the black people were the ones who were dying off at crazy numbers, and now white people are dying off. Like, there's an article about that. And some people were like, see, that's why he was saying white lives matter, because he's trying to say like their white lives are dying off. I don't even know about all of that, but I thought that was a funny, interesting take. And also, at least the ones that I saw, it said white lives matter, right? And then the V is blacked out. It's like faded out. So it says white lies matter. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, clever. Still not gonna wear that shit though. Just like I wouldn't be wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt. It's like, what? But maybe I'm not serious enough. Maybe I'm not taking it seriously enough. So what do y'all think? Mine's who not trolling us, but them. Yeah, that too. Feel like they're like a troll. It's like he just like pointing out the performative activism of it all. It's like, okay, Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, everybody lives matter. Now what? What's going to change though? What's going to change? Because everybody's outraged. But then what happens after the outrage? Niggas settle out of court. You know? All the victims of the police brutality settle. You know, they get their settlement payment and they're paid off. You know? And now the outrage is no longer until something else happens. That's the part of the conversation that people don't want to have. It's much, much easier to have a conversation about how upset you are that, you know, people aren't taking the hashtag seriously enough or whatever. It's like, okay, let's say everyone takes the hashtag seriously. Everyone is like, yeah, word, Black Lives Matter. We care. We're going to do something. Have we seen anything be done? Y'all remember when the George Floyd incident took place, right? And we saw all these companies with their performative solidarity accompanied by sales and merchandise. Talking about, oh, we stand with our community, our brothers and sisters. Putting the kente cloth on their outfits, kneeling down, begging for forgiveness from the black population as a whole, trying to say, we apologize as the whites. We are so sorry that our police force keeps killing y'all. We so sorry about it. The performance, putting on the kente cloth. And then the outrage dies down and everyone's fine again, right? Nothing much has changed. It just isn't publicized anymore. It's not like a talking point anymore, and therefore you forget. Which is easy to forget because there's always something going on. There's always a thing that commands all of our attention that we can't even focus long enough on the real issue because there's so many issues that we gotta like juggle. We live in TikTok age. People's attention span is like this. So they can't focus on all of the woes of the world at the same time because then you start to feel helpless. It's like, well, what can I really do about it? That's what starts to happen. You know? You ain't the same since his mom died. But I really don't like that description though. It's like no one's the same after someone close to them dies. I don't think that's a thing that's relevant to be said, to be honest with you, because what happened? Like if his mom was here, he would stop being as radical as he is. He always been like that, even when she was alive. I think it's less about his mom not being here with him anymore, even though that clearly will affect the person, and it's more about feeling like lonely and ostracized and like alienated from any true community. Like the people around him, do they really give a fuck about him or not? I'm sure all of us know they don't. So imagine being a public figure and being woke, like you see, and then you're also in the rooms with these people, right? Imagine being that way and you don't have like true community around you. People don't fully support you. They just trying to find a way to profit off of you. Like, I think that's more relevant to what we see from Ye's behavior. I don't think it's about his mom at this point. Yes, it hurts, and yes, that changes the person, but that's not why he's acting this way. That's not why he has the opinions he holds. I don't think that's relevant. I really don't. And, this is me speaking with the privilege of having both my parents still alive. So maybe that does really change a person OD. But I really don't think that that's what we're watching right now, to be real with you. Now he's showing the only lives that matter to the ones we're trying to tell we matter to are the only. Oh, okay. There were like a lot of words in that I misread, but I received the message that you're trying to say. Like basically you're saying that with the White Lives Matter shirt, basically he's trying to show us that literally they are the lives that matter. Like we're trying to beg these people to acknowledge our Black lives as being relevant. But at the end of the day, when you break it down, the only lives that are really taken seriously are theirs. So he made it a slogan to like, maybe that's probably what he's saying. I haven't seen anything from him like explaining the thing. So I don't know for real. But either way, I saw the shirt. I was like, oh, brother. You know how they have strongly disagree, agree, strongly agree? For me, I just disagreed with that. I strongly disagreed with him marrying Kim K. The White Lives Matter, no, I disagree. The George Floyd and the fentanyl thing, I disagree. What else? The 400 years of slavery seeming like a choice after a while, I agree. And not to say that people chose to be enslaved, that's obviously not the case. But in terms of being stuck in a circumstance because you're mentally enslaved to the point that you choose your oppressor over your own survival, or choosing your oppressor is your survival, like that part is a fact. That part is true. It is. It just is, What's goody? What's up, y'all? Give me. Hold on. There was an original. Psyoping our emotions keeps us in check for them, giving us reasons or opportunities to blow off steam. Then they wrap it up with something else. Yo, that just reminded me. Like, okay, I keep referencing the George Floyd thing because that's obviously like a hot topic within this whole yay cancel culture conversation. But I remember I was not one of the protesters. I did not protest. I did not riot with the people. I didn't do it. Because immediately I saw it for what it was, which was performative outrage on one side of the spectrum, and then genuine outrage on the other side. And I didn't want nothing to do with it. Why? Because when you're operating in a state of outrage, anger, or reactivity, you place yourself in situations that you shouldn't be in. And what was happening? There were people who were protesting, and then they started rioting and busting open the windows on everything, right? The police were out there shooting rubber bullets. People were losing their eyes, bro. Like I saw a few people who like their eye was shot out. protesting because of the rubber bullets, right? Or I remember at one point, especially in New York, the NYPD pulled out sound cannons, so that they can play it. So when the protesters were coming out, they would play the cannons, and those are meant to like completely disorient the enemy. That's war weaponry. Like that's not no walk in the park. We at the function trying to keep the security. No, that's military behavior. Like in my opinion, from my understanding of these tools, they had the sound cannons blowing out people's eardrums, protesting Black Lives Matter. And I remember I'm sitting here and I'm like, we're doing all this yelling and shouting and talking about how much our lives matter. Why is this even a thing that needs to be said? Why do y'all think that this is productive? Yelling that our lives matter. If you're talking to people who don't give a fuck, they just don't. So it feels like embarrassing a little bit for us to be pleading and begging to be affirmed for our right to be alive, trying to beg these people to stop killing us. Like that doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't. So when all of that was going on, I was in my house. I was quarantining. Okay. That's what I was doing. And as you see, and part of the protest, everyone was like, defund the police, Black Lives Matter. Like, right? That was a protest. Pissed. And understandably so, because when I saw what happened to George Floyd, I felt that very deeply. I was very upset, very hurt and disturbed. But then I also recognized that this is just like any other lynching when they're trying to send a message. And I remember during the protest, they were literally lynching people. Someone was found hanging in Manhattan. Listen, do y'all remember? Like there was like this resurgence of literal lynchings. Like people were finding Black bodies hanging from trees again. We're like, again, during the protests. So I don't disagree that our collective outrage is, used to create a circumstance in which we're reactive and acting from that place so that it justifies more of that kind of mistreatment. It's kind of like when someone's like, I'm not touching you, and then you box fire out of them. They're like, you hit me. It's kind of like that kind of energy where it's like being gaslit about your trauma, having people tell you that your problems aren't big enough for us to care or to do something about it. So you're just constantly bubbling up with this anger and aggression, and then you react, and then they get to say, all right, now we get to let the chopper sing, because now I feared for my life, right? That's what they do. That's at least what I've observed, So, and I'm not going to say all, a lot of the people who are the most outraged, the most vocal in the streets, yelling, chanting, are the same ones who on this side of the coin are hype to cancel people, hype to cancel it. The police, the whole defunding the police thing, you don't hear a peep about that anymore, right? Because we got our good Democratic president in office, so everything is good and well again, right? All those problems are gone now, right? Yeah, yeah, weird times. We're in weird times. Babylonian times, all right? That's how I feel. You hate to see it. I'm reading. I was just talking about this Grego. They tried to cancel Dave Chappelle and he took off to, don't know how to, 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏. Did I say it right? to gather his mind and strategize. We don't see a lot of the ish that goes on in the background. That part. And that's not even the canceling incident that I was thinking about when I mentioned him. I was talking about like the trans jokes and everything. But I did forget about that too. And that was as a result of them trying to cancel him then as well. And someone else tweeted this. They were like, you remember when Martin Lawrence was running around in the street saying how they trying to kill me? And everyone's like, oh, he's crazy. He's crazy. But what was he talking about? Who is they? Who is he talking about? You know? What? Sammy live chat making crush connection? Who in here connecting? Let me see. Who in here connecting? Much love and respect from Seattle. What up? Seattle in the building. Seattle in the building. Thank you, Grego. Cancel culture, cancel the American Indian. Ooh. Ooh, my God. Oh, you hit me with that one. You hit me with that one. Oh my God. Whew, let me. Okay. I needed I needed to wet my palate with that one. You hit me with that one. Woo! Precisely. Cancel culture. We canceling the wrong people. We need to cancel the actual people that's causing problems for real. Okay? We canceling the leaves when we need to be canceling the roots. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Where is the math? Where is the math? Y'all need to go run back Blood on the Leaves. Y'all need to run back New Slaves. Y'all need to run back Guilt Trip. Like just run back the Yeezus album. Y'all need to run it back. It's perfect for this weekend. Perfect for spooky season vibes. It's giving Halloween. It's giving Yeezus album. Because it's giving relevant. It's giving relevant. Okay. Ooh. Remember the commercial that used to come on with the Indian crying in the field? Cringe. Oh my God. I tell you. Cringe. Cringe. Big cringe. Cringy. Very cringy. Very cringy. Cringy. Oh, I asked y'all in the beginning of the stream and I didn't even read the comments. For those who are here now and whatever. Did y'all answer the question when I asked you, do you recognize the two men who were in the picture with Kanye in the thumbnail that I used? Do y'all know who that is? I'll tell you. Look up Lucian Grange. Okay, and look up Lior Cohen. Look them up. Look at them smiling all happy as hell in the photograph and look at Ye's face. Okay? Look up who they are. Look up what role they play. And then circle back to the comments that he made. Okay? That's your homework assignment for the live. Okay? Bodies of children from the First Nations are still being found in Canada. Who did it? The church. Yo, you just reminded me. Do y'all remember when they were talking about the trafficking of the children? They're talking about the trafficking of the children. I feel like this was all happening, if my memories serve me correctly. Was this all happening during the election period of time? Or like before that? It's definitely within the pandemic window. Where basically, first of all, the Epstein situation was a hot topic, right? Remember the trial and everything? He went on offed himself in prison, but the things are still the things, right? And also it was like information coming out about different members of both political parties who participate in the trafficking of these children. And it was it a court case where all of these files were revealed? I'm hazy on the details because so much happened in a short window of time. I'm hazy on the details. If y'all remember what I'm talking about, though, remind me. But it was like, it was a list that came out and it had all the names of everybody, and it had their political affiliation, like which party they are a part of. And it was like Dems, Republican, don't matter. It don't matter. Both of them was on the list as participants in the trafficking. And I remember it flew under the radar. It like got little to no media coverage. I only saw it because it was on Twitter, because Twitter really be like the news for real, where the news happens before it's censored or like removed, I saw it there. And I remember that it was so under the radar because something else was happening. There was something else in the media, and I don't even remember what the thing was, but people were talking about that on the timeline. So people were talking about the distraction all day in the timeline, and then like in between, little moments in between, you would see other people talking about, yo, did y'all see those documents? And I was one of those people who saw the documents, and I was like, oh, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Dirty. Okay? Filthy. Filthy behavior. Disturbing. Sinister. Crazy, crazy, crazy things that happen behind the scenes and continue to happen so long as we're preoccupied talking about other things, Where is the smoke for them? Where is the canceling? Why haven't they been canceled yet? Oh, because they own things? They're powerful? Like, what is it? It's only... You know what? Let me chill. Okay? I'm a chill. Because the reason I feel like I had to chill is because it's making me feel away. Honestly. It's too much. Which, me saying that is like, I can understand, I can empathize with people. I keep swinging it back and it keeps coming back for it. I can empathize with people who choose the ignorance is bliss route of the equation. I get it. I do. I understand. Because I really don't believe we as humans are equipped to handle the amount, like the volume of toxicity that exists on a daily basis. Like, we're not supposed to be taking in that much information, be stimulated in that way so frequently. It's not good for your psyche. And so it's very hard to be in this world when you're aware of the things that are happening. It's like, it's too much. It's too much. There's too many things happening. It's too much. So it's easier to kind of like disassociate or like focus on what you can control, which is your bubble, your space, the people around you. Because when you start to really zoom out and you see all the things that take place, it's like it's overwhelming. And this is why I have so much respect for Ye. And this is why it bothers me to see how people are like treating him, this, regardless of what your opinions are. Like, it bothers me because it's like, this is someone who at least somehow is still in the public image, like still in the public eye to this degree, and it still gives a fuck enough to talk about the things that we don't want to talk about because it's too hard to live through it again in a conversation. It's too hard. The shit is disturbing. Shit is disturbing, yo. That's why people this is why people just go the escapism route. People just want to turn up, or people just want to numb their emotions. That's why. Because it's like, if you really sit down and you unpack all the things, it's like, goddamn, this is depressing. This is bleak. This is dark. This is real dark. And I'm trying to be having a good time at the function. I'm trying to be happy. I'm trying to be holding a vibe. I don't want to be burdened by the weight of the world. But it's hard to be in the world because it's hard to be in the world and not pay attention to the things that happen, because it affects you still, even if you don't acknowledge it, even if you don't talk about it, even if you ignore it, you still feel things. Like, you still pick up when the atmosphere shifts, when something heavy has taken place. Like, imagine if you're someone who's like unplugged and off the grid when the George Floyd riots were taking place, and you just didn't know what was going on, but you can still feel the collective. So even when you remove yourself, you still can sense that something is afoot, something is amiss, and it's uncomfortable. There's something's happening. And then you open up any app and you see exactly what's happening, and you're like, oh God, this is too much for me. It's too much. It is too much for me. This is why I'm so intentional about making sure I have a certain quality of personality around me, my friends, and the people who I entertain. It's like, I have to have high vibrational people around me. I have to, because it's too much. It's too much. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. I'm not going to read that out loud, but I saw it, though. Woo. Woo. Anyways, do y'all have any final thoughts, final words? I didn't even brush this up today. Do y'all have any final thoughts, any final words on the topic of Ye that you want to get into real quick? Because I feel that I've said all that I needed to say. I have. I've said a lot. Yeah, I've said a lot. And I'm kind of in this, I'm entering the part of the evening where I'm like, I don't want to talk about this shit no more. I want to get cozy, unwind, enjoy the rest of my Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want to do now. I'm tired of talking about this. To be real. What y'all think about the new walls? You like? Ye's a genius who speaks in reverse psychology. That's I like that perspective. I support it. I support that perspective. I support that perspective. And, I really hope that he's able to make it out of this crazy part of the timeline. And come into a space where he really creates his own. Remember that interview with him and Sway? And all these years later, he's like, Sway really did have all the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway. Except he did. Sway was right. He needs to make his own shit. He needs to do it himself. And yes, it's harder and it requires more, but it's way, way, way more impactful that way. And if he does it, I'm going to support it. Okay? That's my 2 cents. He did what he needed to do to get people seeing they need to look into true history. And I really hope that at the very least, happens with the people who haven't been doing that. Like, for those of us who know, it's like we know. But there's people who don't. And I hope that this whole conversation has inspired people to look it up and see what the hell he's talking about and why is he saying it. Like that's what my hope is. Why do you think he won't call out white people as well? What do you mean call out white people as well? What do you mean by that? Why do you think he won't call out white people? Isn't this whole thing of him being canceled revolved around him calling out a specific group of whites? I need clarification on that question, Ken. Help me out with that question, Ken. Okay. Water's so good for you, yes. Not the water putting me in a good mood like that. Where are the kiddos? Where are they? Where are they? Earlier in the stream, Onyx was loud as hell in the litter box. Dumb loud. And then he went somewhere. I don't know where he went. Panther. I don't know where she's at either. This is why cats are dope, though. Because they just be minding their business. If you never asked me that question and someone was new to my content and they saw this stream, they wouldn't know I had cats. They wouldn't know. Because they just be in the cut minding their business quietly. No. Not the nickname. Not the nickname. On a lighter note, just to lighten the mood a little, since you mentioned people that you deal with, what traits do you like in a guy? They don't knock stuff over? Okay, I'm going to answer both of those questions. First, the knock stuff over. Yes, they do. Onyx loves to knock stuff off the dresser, especially when he's upset with me or annoyed with me for not giving him enough attention. He'll start slapping stuff off the table or off the dresser. And I'm like, Onyx. And then he'll look at me. And then we just be looking at each other. So yes. Now to the other question, what traits do I like in a guy? I like men who are masculine. I like men, and when I say masculine, I mean like lean heavily into the energy of it all. Like men who are sure of themselves, clear about who they are, kind people, but not weak. People who are funny, fun-loving, but also like intelligent and understand things. People who are capable of having respect. I'm just describing my ideal human, but be a good person. Are you a good person? Are you good vibes? Do you know yourself? Do you really understand who you are? Are you secure about who you are? Definitely. Are you secure about who you are in all ways? Have you figured out your purpose in life? Stuff like that. I like men who take initiative, who are active co-creators of their lives. They're co-creating with God. You know what I'm saying? Like they're clear and focused and disciplined in their focus, that is really attractive to me. Alongside all the other stuff, like gotta be cute, gotta be a good vibe, funny, playful. I like guys who are more on the nerdy side of like their hobbies and their interests, like guys, like video games, anime, comic books, documentaries. Like I love people like that. And I've always been that way. All of my exes like physically look different, but that's how they are. Like mentally stimulating people. Very deep, multifaceted, layered people. And people who are aware of all of their layers and they're not afraid of them. They're so clear about who they are that they're not afraid of themselves. And I've realized that that's a big deal because a lot of people are not acquainted with their dark side energy. And so they're afraid of it or they suppress it. But it comes up when they're interacting with others, when they're in romantic partnerships, it comes up. So I'd much rather be with a guy or interact with a man who is aware. He's very clear about exactly who he is and how he can be, and he chooses to move a certain way. He chooses to be intentional in his movements because he is so clear about who he is. That, I like that. I like that. I don't know. It's like he's all buddy buddy with racist conservatives, but specifically just called out you. Oh, okay. Well, so you're asking me like why I think he moves that way? Probably because you can't piss everybody off who's writing your checks, right? I guess that's probably why. My guess would be the higher up that you reach and the more tables you get to sit at, the more rooms you get to enter, the more you realize that you and your black self don't have as much pull as you would like to without the collaboration of these people. You must work with them somehow to get to the desired outcome. That's what I would think. I've never personally ever thought to myself, how come you ain't never calling out white people? I don't feel that way because I feel like he does. And maybe it's because I'm listening more to the music. Like he's always called out said people, always. So I don't feel surprised at all by the things that I hear him say today. And maybe here and now he's talking about this specific group of people, but before it was them, he was like, what song was it? Was it New Slaves? Where he was talking about Catholics and Christians. And like, it's really not about the religious denomination. It's about who is in power and watch what they do. That's it. That's what the conversation really is, in my opinion. Do you think Ye gives masculinity a good name? Oh my God. That's a good question. A good name. I would say no, because I don't believe that masculinity is presented in a way that's highly like frenzy, like a frenzy. I don't think that's masculine. I think masculinity is embodied in stoicism and calm and groundedness. And I think that Ye's hella reactive. Like I said a lot this stream about our community as a whole being stuck in this state of reactivity and outrage. And that includes Ye too, to be honest. He's like that too. Although I fully understand why. But at the same time, when we speak about accountability, we have to speak about the fact that you are responsible for your emotions and the way that you react to things, the way that you treat other people and speak about things. You're responsible for that. You have a level of mindfulness that you have to employ. And you can't just be like, rah, rah, rah. You know, you gotta know how to move with grace out here. I feel like opposite end of the coin, Jay-Z, and I just say that because like, you know, Magna Carta, everything. But like Jay-Z more embodies the masculine, how you would move, knowing what you know. Because clearly he knows too. You listen to Jay-Z music and the things that he says and the moves that he makes, clearly he knows too. When he said, teach you how to move in a room full of vultures, like you got to know how to move around them. You can't be so frazzled. So I think that unfortunately for Ye, that is like his Achilles heel, is the fact that he is so reactive. And also that he's reached this point in his life where he just doesn't give a fuck about how he's perceived anymore, about being the good Negro in the room. Like he doesn't care about appearances. And unfortunately, that leads to these consequences because he's not thinking about making it look a certain way. He's just like letting the chopper sing. And maybe it's the ego. It's the ego. It's the arrogance of feeling that now I'm untouchable because I've reached this level of success and that my money speaks for me now. But one thing for certain that we've learned and witnessed through this modernized buck breaking incidents is the fact that it don't matter how much money you got, how much influence you feel that you have, you're still owned in some way. So you don't get to just say whatever you want and do whatever you want without consequence. And that's where the accountability comes in, and it sucks. It sucks because of the aspects where it's free speech, but it's not. You really aren't free to say whatever you want. Unless you're okay with knowing that it's not going to be received entirely. So all of that's my long-winded explanation as to say, no, I do not think that Ye gives masculinity a good name. More in the terms that I don't think he embodies true masculinity in the way that I find attractive. And the men who do usually have their fathers in their lives. So do with that what you will. But yeah. Yeah. True calmness is a big factor of masculinity. Yeah, it really is. And back to what we were talking about earlier about how there's no code in the community because all the leaders have been done away with. And so you see it in the way that the youth moves. Look at how emotionally reactive so many of these young boys and men are. Just look at them. A lot of young men and young boys in our community been raised without the stoicism of a masculine man in their household. They've been raised by their moms or their aunties or whoever the women are because the men have been removed, the leaders have been removed, or we're incentivized to remove them. And so the children, especially the boys, have no connection to their masculinity at all. None. And then you see it in the things that they do, in the way that they treat each other, in the way that they speak, in the way that they carry themselves. You're like, oh my God. That young man needs discipline. But who gonna teach him? Because the masculine presence is a disciplinarian. That's the one. You know, they embody that, the discipline energy, you know? So, let me see. He's frantic about his kids, maybe. Yeah. And I really hate that now all of this is ballooning into them trying to take his kids away. Like, I really hate that. I don't like that. And why are people applauding for that? That's crazy. People are nuts. People are nuts. Ooh, he poured his seed into a bear trap. Literally, that's why I said I strongly disagreed with that decision. to get involved with that family, man. Like, what was he doing with that call? That was a bad call. Bad call. Bad call. In my mind, I was like, is he trying to like do a thing where, you know how marriage used to be treated and originated, like as a way to merge families and merge bloodlines and the resources from y'all, the resources from us, bring it together under the same family and like marriage. In my mind, I was like, is he trying to do it that way? Like, is he trying to, because he sees that this is a powerful name, legacy, and has the potential to be a powerful couple because he is a big name, and maybe he was thinking that his kids would be coming from a very powerful pairing, but that was a very poor choice of the type of powers you want to mesh with. Bad choice, bad call, bad call. And I know for a fact that a lot of the people in our community, specifically like the women who are so anti-Ye, even though they probably won't say it, as part of it is they mad at him for choosing Kim K. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, we saw that and we were like, sir, what the hell are you? What are you doing with that? Bad call, bad call. Because we understand the value of having a melanated goddess on your arm when you're an influential black man. We understand that. And I think that's probably why people try to call him anti-black, because they know that he be dipping his toe in the melanin deficient side of the pond. But you know what? That's his business. Your sexual preferences or whoever you trying to entertain in that romantic space, that's your business. But I did not agree with that. Not at all. Use more carbon less. You see, and that's where celebrities become humanized. Is when you see their flaws, you see their fuck ups, and you remember, oh yeah, they are human. Like, yeah, I love this person's music or I love their content or whatever, but they are still human, and you are not to idolize humans. You're just not meant to be idolizing people because everyone is flawed. But this concept, oh, my battery's dying, so I'm going to have to get out of here soon. But this concept of celebrity and like influencer and stuff, and like people being placed on pedestals, we have like detached from viewing them as humans, as regular degular people. They're just people with money and like status. But that doesn't make them all of a sudden the all-knowing, all-seeing eye of humanity. They don't have all the answers either. So we got to stop looking to them to be our sense of guidance, and more so just like learn from what we see and learn from what we hear, but also think for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because imagine if I just took everything as word as bond that came out of his mouth. I'll lose my mind. I can't do that. I gotta take what makes sense and disregard the rest. All right? Grego. Right, and a lot of people are going to make him Messiah. And you know what's crazy? And that's the thing that sucks, is because now it's like he's in this position of being a martyr. And I worry for him. And I felt that way from when the Kim K thing, even the Amber Rose decisions. I was like, oh no, because one thing about men is they have to be very careful about the woman that they lay with. You must, because women are the vacuums. Like, we receive the energy, we take it from you, and then we multiply it back. So you have to be very intentional and careful about the kinds of women that you lay with, because you can get caught in a very, very dark place, the sunken place, if you will. You can get stuck there dealing with the type of woman who doesn't want wellness for you, who only wants to excavate, who only wants to take all that she can take from you before she bounces on you. Like, laying with women like that is bad for your health. It's dangerous. And so when I saw he was with Amber Rose, all of that, I was like, oh no, yay, someone please rescue this man. Someone please save him. It's like, it's scary to look at it sometimes because you're like, I don't want anything to happen to him. And you know, everyone has an expiration date and we don't know when it's gonna be, but I know that whenever that time comes, whenever that comes, it's gonna become like this whole, now everyone understands what he was trying to say. Now everyone is playing back his interviews and seeing the truth. Now, after. You know how they say they give the flowers when they go, the flowers when they're gone, you know? Kind of like with Kevin Samuels. How there so many people were so mad. And you know, now he's passed away. Rest in peace. And people are replaying his videos, replaying his viral moments, and they're like, oh shit, he was speaking facts. It's like, but why did you have to wait for him to leave us before you realized that, you know? But anyway. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. My battery is at like 10% right now. So I definitely need to go charge my phone and like charge myself for the night, for the evening. And so I'm going to go do that. I thank you all for joining me on this conversation. Thank you for sharing this space with me to talk. Really, as you saw, I just needed to vent because I've been bothered. I needed to vent. So thank y'all for doing that with me. And hit the like button. Also, join my channel. And when you join, go to the community tab so you can get access to the Discord, okay? Cool. Ooh. Man. Crazy. Anyways, y'all, have a good night. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. It's spooky season. Also, run back the Yeezus album. Play it loudly this Halloween weekend. Play it loudly and have a good time. Pick up the gems. Okay? And I'll see y'all in my next video. Don't know when that will be, though. Okay? So live your lives in the meantime, in between time. And I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Bye, guys. Good night.